Now, in this day and age, we're having a lot of our funds kind of being transferred via digitally. But on the other hand, we still have people using ATMs. And I know you probably got into a situation where you might be out on a vacation or even in a foreign land. And guess what? We need cash, actual cash. So what do? We go to an ATM. Understand that a lot of these ATMs, they are target points for robbers and thieves to take advantage of you, especially because the environment that you're in is just, well, let's just say it's unknown to you. You're not familiar with it. So what can you do to stay safe? If you have to visit an ATM, whether it be domestically, at home, or abroad, here are some tips. Now, when we talk about ATMs, there's really two different types. There are walk-up ATMs, and there's also drive-up ATM. A couple tips that I want to focus on right now for the walk-up ATMs. First thing is that if at all possible, you want a second set of eyes. All that means is that if you have a partner with you, whether it be a spouse, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or a friend, who can also keep an eye out for you as you walk up to the ATM, they're not gonna walk up with you. They may stay several feet behind you and just kind of keeping an eye on the surroundings. That's what I mean by a second set of eyes. The second tip is that if by chance we don't have someone with us, it is okay to wait till the ATM is alone, meaning it's vacant. We don't have to walk up in a line. I understand that sometimes we think that if we walk up in a line, we feel more safer because there are people around. But just remember, those people in the line could be hunting for you. So it's okay to go ahead and wait for the ATM to be completely vacant so we can go up and we know who is around us. If someone's around us, we know we need to keep an eye on them. If there's a group of people around us, maybe we don't know who to keep an eye on. So it's okay to go up to the ATM when you're going to be the only person going up there alone. The third tip that I want to point out is that if by chance we have to go up to an ATM and we have the availability to put our back up against the wall, go ahead and do so. A lot of times I see ATMs, let's say, set up in a corner, and let's say if I have to walk up to an ATM, there's an ATM right in front of me, but there's a wall right here. It's okay for me to keep my back to that wall right there so I can see what's going on behind me. This is going to go hand in hand with my fourth and last tip. The fourth tip that I want to go ahead and talk about right now is making sure that we are always keeping an eye behind us. How do we do that? We simply look behind us. I tell the exact same thing when people are out jogging or walking. It's okay to look behind you, see what's going on. Is there someone following you? What does the environment look like behind you? Don't be afraid to turn around and look around. That's what I want to say. A lot of times we get in front of an ATM and we just focus on the transaction. And although that's not totally wrong because you need to pay attention to what you're doing, it's not bad to every once in a while look behind us to see what's going on. Look around at the people behind us, maybe cars that are driving around, or just the environment in general. You want to be educated on where you're at, and the only way to do that is to be observant of it. So don't be afraid to look around and pay attention to those things that are around you. All right, so what happens if by chance we are attacked at ATM? You're facing the ATM, someone comes up right behind you. The main technique that I always focus on are rear elbow strikes. And once again, we have a video just for this one right here, but we have two types. We have low strikes and we have high strikes with the elbow when we're talking about rear elbows. You want to make sure that you practice both of them. And once again, check out that video so you know how to do this one move. The second type of ATMs that you may come in contact with are what we call drive-up ATMs. These are ones that you're going to obviously stay in your car, you drive on up, and that's how you access the ATM. The first thing I always encourage people to do is, if at all possible, drive around the bank or drive around the ATM. Don't feel like we gotta, find an ATM, we drive right up to it. Educate yourself about the environment. So what that means is when you drive up to the ATM, maybe make one whole lap around the ATM so we know what's around it. Are there any places that people can hide on out? Also, if we need to escape quickly, what's our best escape route as well? These are all great points of information that you wanna know before we even enter the ATM environment. Just like in the walk-up ATM, the second kind of tip that I have right here is having a second set of eyes. Once again, you have to understand that if you're hanging out of a car, accessing an ATM, sometimes that can be uncomfortable, and a lot of times we are not aware of what's going on around us. So by having somebody in the passenger seat, keeping an eye on what's going on behind us, or even in front of us while we're in the ATM stall right there, is so important and also so intelligent as well. So if at all possible, a second set of eyes is only going to benefit you. As I said before, once again with the walk-up ATM, the shared tip that we have right here is that if by chance you can wait till you're alone, that's great. I understand that a lot of times when we're searching for cash and we're trying to get cash so we can get to our next maybe tourist event, or maybe we're just trying to get to work or whatever it may be, we're in a rush. But if by chance you feel more comfortable driving up to an ATM where you're gonna be the only car in the line, that might be the best course of action. So don't be scared to wait a couple more minutes, wait till everything is clear, and then go up and access it when it's only alone and you're the only one at the ATM. The fourth tip that I have for drive-up ATMs is to pay attention to what's going around you. And that just simply means by looking in back of you. You know, a lot of times, once again, we get into the ATM kind of drive-up lane right there. It's not comfortable. We have to open our car door a little bit. Maybe we have to hang out of our window, whatever it is, but it's not comfortable. We're focused so much on keeping our balance and hitting the right buttons and everything like that. We're not paying attention to what's going around, on around us. What I would encourage you guys to do is when we get up to the ATM, go ahead and put in your first couple bits of information, then just kind of look around. Look around what's going on behind you and even in front of you as well. Is there somebody in another ATM lane right next to you? Pay attention to what's going on with them as well. Go back to the ATM, put in the next couple pieces of information, and then repeat the exact same process again. My point is, educate yourself about the environment, and we can only do that if we're observing what's going on by constantly looking around in between the buttons that we're hitting. I have two great programs if you want more information about the actual self-defense situations when we're at an ATM, whether it's a walk-up one or a drive-up one. The two things we want to do is pay attention to what we call our rapid fighting program and also our quick gun disarm program. The rapid fighting one is great because it's going to teach you guys what to do in an empty hand situation. The other one is going to teach you what to do if by chance we have a gun pointed at us and we're kind of isolated in our car. So check out the links below and you'll get more information about those programs.